Need advice on anything?
So we're seeing a woman just say, ask me for free advice.
I go to Uzbekistan or stay here?
Do you have family there?
No.
Why do you want to go?
Meet a woman.
Cut to a few months later.
Investigators think Ryan Borgwardt didn't drown in this lake, but instead say he faked his own death to run off to Europe with a woman he met online.
What?
It's time to get wild.
That was wild.
Welcome to That Was Wild. I'm Macias, and this episode is going to be wild. This is a show where I talk to my wildly funny friends about the wild things happening in the world to remind us of the wild people so we don't have to worry about the wild things. I fucked that up again. Oh, gosh. To learn from our wild
Put his
mistakes.
name on the teleprompter.
Yeah, to learn from our wild mistakes like that wild thing that just happened. Again, I'm Adam Macias. I live a wild life. I like talking to wild people. And this week's guest is no exception because this person is very funny, super funny, man. I found him very organically at an open mic, and then I looked him up, and turns out we kind of have a shared interest in funny news headlines and content creation in that way. Your last name is Strauss?
Strauss, like the jeans, yeah.
Like the jeans, which you're wearing good jeans, and you look like you have good jeans. It's Tyler Strauss, everybody.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I black sheep of the family.
Oh, you got a bunch of uggos in the family, or they all wear corduroy?
I am the only person above 5'7".
Whoa.
Both grandparents were over 300 pounds.
What?
Heart disease, Parkinson's, bald, cancer. You name it, my family has it. But you know what? I'm happy. I look nothing like them. I'll survive the next Jewish persecution. I'm doing well.
You know, like it's in the what is it? Not Addams Family, the other one, the Munsters. The Munsters had the cousin, the weird cousin.
Yeah.
That was like actually super beautiful. They were like this fucking weird like lady, and she was like this gorgeous blonde.
Yeah,
and
I wouldn't
everybody
go
else
as
was
far
monsters.
as beautiful. I mean, I'm a 15 out of 10 for Strausses, but I wouldn't say that's really breaking the bank.
But I'm just saying, did they treat you like, oh, there's this guy, like with this him and his beautiful hair and his tallness?
My mom would
They
try
don't
to
understand you. What do you want to like? You want to have your nice skin and stuff? What is this?
my mom would try to do that. She would, do the classic, like, look at my model son. And then people would just be like, he's normal. He's not ugly. I wouldn't go as far as to say he's beautiful.
Yeah, my beautiful son. I mean, he's a 6 at best.
Yeah, a 1's better than a 0. But It was a fascinating experiment to go from like you being Thanksgiving, looking around the table, just like, guys, you guys know that surgery does exist, and then I'd get into the real world and be like, oh, I'm middle of the pack.
Yeah. You're a big, beautiful fish in an ugly pond.
Thank you.
So
hello, mom and dad.
Shout out. No, I'm sure your family is lovely. I'm no insults. No insults. So you're originally from the East Coast, correct?
Yes, I'm from Connecticut, tiny little state. Horrible state. Most people don't know. They think of Connecticut as like this, haven where you bring your yacht to lacrosse practice or something.
Yes.
And that's what
What's the motto for, there's like a funny, like live free or die or some shit like that, right?
That's New Hampshire.
That's New Hampshire. Okay.
Which is hilarious to me.
Yes.
Because it's New Hampshire. You're going to die.
Yeah.
You're going to die.
You're going to die.
If Texas was live free or die, like they're the Lone Star State, right?
Yeah,
we can survive on our own. It's like, yeah, they probably could.
Yes.
New Hampshire, live free or die. Like if someone invaded New Hampshire, they're going to die. There's 12 people there, and all 12 have guns, but they're all baked. Like, what are they going to do? Just like, So, hilarious. But yeah, Connecticut's the nutmeg state. I don't know why.
That's so much different than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, Connecticut.
We're the pumpkin spice state.
One of the poorest, little known fact, one of the poorest states, yeah.
Connecticut.
The people
are
rich, but the state is very poor.
Still waiting for that trickle down economics.
Oh
to
yeah,
happen.
yeah, it doesn't happen. And so I
trickle down from the yachts. The caviar from the yacht to eventually make it down.
It's the southern portion right next to the water is exactly what you think.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Brooks Brothers. It's the New York hedge fund guys. But then the more you go inland, the more you get to just like farms, churches, and like all these cities are broke as shit. They're all poor. Pistol waving New Haven is what they call it.
Pistol waving New Haven.
If you're on Yale's campus, you're safe.
Okay.
If you take 2 steps off, you're going to die. But
that sounds fun though. That sounds like a Wild West.
Well, my wrestling coach, they have wrestling states in New Haven.
Okay.
So we would drive down for that. And I remember my wrestling coach got mugged at gunpoint. And I just thought, if you're...
That's why you don't bring a singlet to a gunfight.
Yeah. But if you're looking for someone to mug and you see a 230-pound wrestling coach and think, to hell, why not? That's the kind of city.
That's an insane mentality.
That's in,
Yeah. That's talk about quick draw. Like that dude can shoot, but this guy can like literally shoot. You know?
Yeah.
Shoot the leg. No. Seriously, you shot my leg.
Yeah. No, that's it's not good.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy behavior.
Yeah.
Shout out. Well, you actually you do jokes online.
Yeah. I would love to. You know, obviously stand-up is my number one, and I want to be able to go and just do jokes for people, but the writing part is my favorite part. I love that puzzle piece of like, oh, I cracked another one, and I got it. And I was writing all these stupid jokes just for, you know, almost an exercise. It was like I was going online, and just to get the juices flowing, I was going on the New York Post or some ridiculous
awesome
place.
Website, just an amazing website, great source of news.
You can get your setup from the like you'll read it. You know, you go to Wall Street Journal or something, and it's just like it's like Trump administration hires seasoned veteran for blah blah blah, and you go on the New York Post, and it's like
the New York Post actually does have the best headlines.
Yeah, it's like sorceress Kamala has cursed Rudy Giuliani into homelessness. And you're I think there's probably a middle ground here.
No, it'd be like piece of shit Kansas Democrat gets ran over by a DUI a homeless veteran.
Yeah.
Just like, oh my God. Like it's like there's no nuance at all in a New York Post.
It's all about just screw the Democrats.
Jesus Christ.
And then there's like always something in there about how the Mets still suck.
Yeah.
And it's just all right, thanks.
It is funny actually. Like I love the New York Post. Sometimes the New York Times too does this of like you get into like it does have like the national news, world news, and then you like scroll down deep enough, and then it's like, oh, there is some like very New York specific news of like, did you see this in the Central Park today? I was like, no, like what? Like who's reading this that actually lives in New York? Like what? Who is reading this? Who is reading the New York Post that actually lives in New York? Like seriously though, that is like such a fucking flyover state base at this point, you know?
Yeah.
That's a Jersey base.
You know what it feels like?
That's a Long Island base.
It feels like if someone from the Midwest thought that they were reading a reputable thing because they heard of the New York Times. Yeah. So they started Googling New York newspaper. And they got New York Post, and they were like, oh, this is the good stuff. And they just never actually got the New York Times. It's like they're just reading this thing, but it does. It's a nice thing to look at if you feel depressed.
Yeah,
because you go look at the New York Post and you're like, oh, good news. Jennifer Lopez is kid doing this great. Okay, whatever.
But so I interrupted you. So you were saying you like reading the headlines. You're writing jokes based on headlines.
And so I started writing these jokes, and then I posted one online. It was about it was during March Madness. I said something like, the African-American population of Connecticut has dropped 33%, but it's expected to recover the second the UConn basketball team returns home. And it got a good reception. It got a couple 100,000 views and likes and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, this is a great place to just, unload these jokes that I can't use on stage. And it started doing well, so I started just kind of continuing to do it. And it's a great just outlet for all these jokes that I use that I really like, but I can't do on stage.
Totally.
So.
You can't. It's very hard to do those like type of jokes on stage because people don't turns out I don't know if you notice, you could tell this by the election, but people don't pay attention to the news. I guess apparently, turns out, somebody could be talked about in the news about how terrible they are, and they'll still vote for them based off of all this shit.
Dude, I voted for Bob Dole.
Oh, really?
Yep, I wrote him right back in.
Yeah, and that's because you're a big banana
It's his
fan.
time to shine. Banana Republic. I think Bob Dole ran in what, 96 or something? But
Yes. Yeah.
no, I you know what's funny is I do take politics seriously at the end of the day, and I was a poli-sci major in college, which means nothing. But I do, want to be serious about it. But my girlfriend, very rightfully so, she sat next to me while I filled my ballot out to make sure I voted for, Kamala, because she was like, if there's anyone here that's going to treat this like a joke and write in, Ralph Malph from Happy Days, it's Tyler freaking Strauss.
My mom did that actually. She like mad dogged my stepdad into who is a Trump supporter into like voting for Kamala. Like he was going to vote for Trump, and she mad dogged him.
Really?
Fucking like voter intimidation, which I think is illegal. I think actually.
My mom is a hardcore Trump. My dad's a hardcore not Trump.
Whoa.
So they voted their respective corners, but they're aware of it. They deal with it.
They're fine.
I mean, they just shot at each other for a while, but they're like if you think of the Costanzas from Seinfeld.
Okay.
My mom.
They're just used to being kind of like contentious.
Yeah, like my mom is essentially Frank Costanza.
Okay.
And then my dad is just just her husband.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like a nonchalant, go with the flow kind of guy.
Yeah.
So, they just shout at each other, and then at a certain point they just go, all right, what's for dinner? So
yeah. Yeah, that's it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
that's the phrase.
It's kind of is kind of how it happens these days. One thing I thought was kind of interesting about you is that you actually work for suicide prevention.
When you paused it right there, I thought you were about to be like, oh, I almost meant let's see, betterhelp.com.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your work here.
Which is a perfect segue to I just want to talk about talkspace.com. It's a lovely website. God, that would be so good right now if I had sponsors.
Promo code WILD, yeah.
Yeah, promo code Get Wild with your sponsor. No, so yeah, you work that's crazy.
Yeah. So I went through some dark times myself. Everyone on every podcast and every celebrity nowadays talks about their mental health, so I'm not going to get into it. Everyone has depression, everyone has anxiety, but
not me, man.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Nope.
That's, yep.
I'm
the guy with the tattoo sleeve.
Not me,
and
brother.
the Misfits shirt really screams mental health.
Not me. I'm just over here screaming death metal because I don't give a fuck.
Yep. So to everyone else in the world that could have benefited from a BetterHelp sponsorship, I really enjoyed just kind of talking. I'm just so extroverted. Like talking to people makes me happy. It makes me feel better.
Nice.
So if I'm if I'm alone for a long time, I get a little bit, in my own head. So I just, talking to people is so much fun. And I was, a lot of times my friends would talk to me about their problems, and selfishly that made me feel better because I'm like, oh, people think I'm a good person to talk to. That feels good. And just kind of that recognition of like, you made me feel better. It was like almost I felt better from making them feel better. And I was like, you know what? That feels really good. Maybe I could be a therapist. This was in college. I was like, maybe I could be a therapist.
Poli-sci to psychology.
I started looking into therapy, and they said the best way to find out if you want to be a therapist is to volunteer at a suicide hotline, because it's the only thing that doesn't require a license.
Oh.
You still go through training. There's a lot of training, but you don't need to go to master's degrees or licenses or stuff like that.
How much training was there?
It's 3 months, and it's
wow.
It's like 3-hour sessions twice a week.
3-hour sessions
for 3 months.
Okay.
And they go through all of like this is how you respond to people, and this is how you show them that you're like listening and validate their emotions and stuff. And like on the hotline, you're never telling someone if they're right or wrong. You're never challenging them. You're trying to just make them feel heard, because you only have them for 20 minutes. So you're not sitting there going like, oh, you cheated on your wife? Well, you're a shitty person. Like, you wouldn't want to do that. You just go like, oh, you feel guilty about cheating on your wife. I can see why that would make you feel guilty. And
okay,
I hear all
you
this
do need to
pain,
learn to kind of how to digest the information without triggering them. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
there's
Okay.
a way to talk
Yeah.
and a way to mirror them and stuff like that.
Okay,
that
well,
makes
can
them
I
feel
Okay.
good?
How about I think I'd actually be really good at it. Can you
Yeah,
how about I pretend to be a therapist?
sure, like a hotline counselor.
And then you are the person calling. And
Okay.
Okay. And then so like let me see.
Yeah, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got.
Yeah.
Ring, ring.
Hold on,
Hot start.
Where's my
Yep,
phone?
hot start.
Hold on
All
one
right.
second. Yeah. Hold on. Let me turn this TikTok off.
That's always a great thing to say to
Sort of
someone.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on a moment.
Hold on a
You
second.
know how you're about to kill yourself?
Yeah.
Give me a
Here you
second.
go. Okay.
Put them on hold.
And I-
Stairway to Heaven
pick-
starts to play.
pick up the phone. Picking up the phone. Oh man. The hospital is funny.
Hi, why,
Hello?
why-
How can I hotline? How can I help you?
Hi, were you just laughing?
No, my homie Steve sent me a video. Actually it's really funny. You want me to tell you about it? Actually, no, it's not. Let me hear about you. How can I help you today?
Yeah, I just my boyfriend just outed me to my parents without my knowledge because we went through a bit of a fight.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so now
Jesus.
my parents just found out that I'm gay.
Oh my God. Jesus.
Yeah.
How long have you been gay?
I'm gonna hang up now.
I didn't even mean it.
Is there an after call survey I can take? I'd like to.
I'm sorry.
I'd like to please just.
Yo, I didn't even mean it like that. I didn't even mean it like that. I just meant like, how long have you been out? Like, I didn't mean like you chose to be out or anything like that. Like, I understand it's not a choice. I just meant like, how long have you been out? Like,
On behalf of the hotline, I'd like to say that we are going in a different direction.
oh, is my manager?
We're
Okay.
going on a different direction.
Tyler.
Yep. We are gonna
Yeah.
look for someone else. But
Okay.
no, it's a very rewarding thing. And very selfishly, like it honestly just makes me feel better to be on the line and like talking to people.
That's
because
great though.
there's so many things that we do that, especially in comedy, where it's like there's so much self-oriented stuff. You're focused on yourself so much that it feels good to do something where you're like, okay, I may have bombed this show, and then I was at the coffee shop and 16 people told me I suck at making coffee and I should kill myself. But at least I know I helped 3 people today.
That's great.
I feel good.
I'm all about, especially now that, who knows what the world is going to bring, helping people when you can with the very little people. As Aunt May has always said, you help one person, you help everybody. That's my big thing. So speaking about helping the world, let's learn from other people's mistakes by learning about the wild things happening in the world. Speaking of wild motherfucking people, there's this guy. His name is Ryan. He's missing. Some would say presumed dead. And he's a father and a husband. And turns out, apparently, he faked his own death. And they found this out by, those like man on the street interviews, like on TikTok,
No.
where like they go up and find it.
No.
Well, turns out he was discovered on one of those talking about his
Oh, my
plan
God.
to run away. So here's
Wait, so he like making a murdered himself.
making
A murderer. Like he told someone his plan
yeah.
who said to him, I'm about to post this on the internet.
Yes.
And then he went through with it.
Yeah. So let's see the video of him getting stopped
Need
first.
advice on anything?
So we're seeing a woman just say, "Ask me for free advice."
Okay.
Like this just looks like an innocent video, right?
I go to Uzbekistan or stay here?
Should I go to Uzbekistan or stay here? If you couldn't see that,
Say that one more time.
Do I go to Uzbekistan or stay?
already super chill vibes.
Well, but why?
Already
How did
super nonchalant, chill vibes.
How did he arrive at the options of Uzbekistan or I don't know where he is, but it sounds like an American accent or something like that. I assume he's in like America.
Yeah.
Uzbekistan?
Yeah.
The only time I remember hearing about Uzbekistan is when Herman Cain, if you remember him,
Oh, yeah.
he was telling some ridiculous interview, and at one time he was like, how should I know the president of Uzbekistan? That's the only time I've ever heard of Uzbekistan.
Yes.
I don't know what they do or why it's this option.
Yeah. So for anybody listening, he's on a bike just kind of near a boardwalk, what looks like Huntington, maybe honestly, your part of the woods,
Yeah.
Connecticut. Okay. Well, if you're wondering why Uzbekistan actually comes up
Oh,
later
okay,
on in the
okay.
story. But yeah, let's hear him out. Let's hear him out. But what, maybe I don't know. Maybe he's got plans.
Stay here.
Okay.
Do you have family there?
No.
Why do you want to go?
Meet a woman.
To meet a woman.
To meet a woman.
Oh, yeah,
Wanna
yeah,
meet some
of
nice
course,
Ubeki,
of course.
Becky women. Some Beckys and Ubeckys.
Is that a place where it's legal to purchase a woman? Is that why he's going there?
I think there's probably some catfishing happening in
What
Uzbekistan.
a weird guy.
Yeah. what a weird thing. It's like that Bart Simpson's meme.
Yeah.
Like, what a weird thing to say. I feel bad for this woman just being like, whoa. That's the funny thing about these things of like, you put yourself out there for like weird things,
Yeah.
but like she got way more than what she was asking for.
And it was
Uzbekistan.
Can't even say the word.
Pakistan. You don't like American women?
Oh, they're familiar.
This guy is like in an existential crisis right now. Like, let me ask you this: with your suicide prevention hotline training, are you getting red flags right now?
I mean, he has a plan for the future. He's got a goal. No, he sounds pretty confident.
Okay.
All
right, that's fair. That's fair.
So you've given up on meeting someone here?
No, I'm married.
Oh. But you want to find someone else?
Empty nest. I'm not sure. That's why I'm asking you.
Wait, empty nest? What do you mean?
Empty nest. My kids are out of the house now.
So you want to find, adopt a child?
No.
This woman is like giving him the benefit of the doubt. Oh wait, so no, you're married. You want a kid. You don't want a woman. You want a child. You want a new kid. No.
What a odd thing to pull out of someone. Like it sounds like it's almost like he's under oath and he was trying not to say something. And then she asked the right questions and he's like, well, I gotta tell her I'm married and have a kid. Like, why couldn't he have just said like, yeah, I like, is Uzbekistan like West Asian? How do you reference people from there?
I think it's
Arab?
Eastern European. Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan?
Yeah.
I thought it was in like that part of Asia that's like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan,
Isn't it?
Tajikistan.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, Central
kind of
Asia.
Former Ottoman countries.
Yeah, country in Central Asia. You're right.
But yeah, it's like it was a part of that whole like Turkish.
Yeah, near Borgwart's
Empire.
area there.
I want to find a companion that I'm content with.
It just gets
I think that
worse
requires you to
and
divorce
worse.
someone first.
Well, maybe.
Or is she okay with that?
The maybe is like so telling. Well, maybe.
Is he trying to build like a
That's a good
harem?
question. Remains to be seen.
Have you guys had a conversation about that? So would it be like a throuple or something?
No.
Okay. Oh, you guys would get a divorce possibly.
Possibly, yeah.
There's a moment. There's a moment where he gives up. You can tell he makes a noise. He makes a noise like a little bit ago where he goes like she says to him something. Oh, so that means you get divorced, whatever. He goes, mm-hmm. Go back.
Question about that?
Like he all of a sudden realized like, okay, I've said too much.
I think he's like, wait, what am I doing? Like, I think he was honestly lost in thought about like, should I move to Uzbekistan?
Yeah.
And he's like, like God is asking me a question. And he's like realizing, like, oh wait, there is no God, and this person is a content creator I'm talking to that's gonna film me forever.
This guy is just a weirdo. Look at him, like he's got like a circumcised beanie or like a giant yarmulke or something. He's got one of those like a fisherman's cap corsets for sure, where it's like it keeps the belly in.
Oh, he's definitely got his sweatshirt tied around his waist way too high, like up by his ribs.
Gotcha. I thought it was one of those like bands you can like things you can like wrap around your waist to make it like tighten in.
Oh yeah. Like
it's a sweatshirt. Never mind.
Okay, so cut to a few months later.
This morning, a stunning discovery in the search for a missing Wisconsin husband and father of 3.
The family comes up with that he's drowned, and now all of a sudden they come up with he's not in the lake, he's someplace else.
Investigators think Ryan Borgwardt didn't drown in this lake, but instead say he faked his own death to run off to Europe with a woman he met online.
What? Why? Okay. Question.
Yeah.
Why, of all the ways to fake your death,
the canoe or drowning?
Why would you go with a thing where people could recognize a body? So if you drown and you're found a day later, you still look like yourself. You haven't like decayed. You still are identifiable.
Well, I think so. They didn't find a body. So that I think that's
So they assumed he drowned.
They assumed he drowned.
Oh,
so they're saying like that.
I thought you meant he put a body in the lake with like a note that just says like I am Kevin.
That would be wild if he found a cadaver. Like that would make it extra bad. Yeah.
Okay, they thought he drowned.
Presumed dead. Yes. He went. So the story. Yeah. So the story is. We'll go here.
We identified that he purchased some airline coupons. That he took out a life insurance.
Like that's him. That's the fucking guy in that video.
Policy earlier in the year.
The 45-year-old was first reported missing August 12th when he didn't come home after kayaking on this lake near his home in Wisconsin. Police finding
motherfucker kayak to Uzbekistan.
I just love the idea that he did it after kayaking. Like he was like, I got to get one more.
I got to get one more row in.
One more row in before I leave forever.
Size kayak and Borgwardt's car parked nearby. Fishermen finding his fishing pole and tackle box with his wallet, keys, and license inside. An army of search and rescue volunteers began scouring the lake to bring him home. Keith Cormican, who runs an organization called Bruce's Legacy, was on the water searching for nearly a month.
You know, what a waste of time that we did. We put so much time and effort into that case. Very disappointed in him. Anybody that could do that.
Oh, please. He's going around the lake. Are you telling me for a month? He's definitely just cruising around, sipping a beer, and then there's no bodies down there.
So, I will say.
Nobody's over there.
I think like,
nobody's over there.
I think this guy is such a fucking moron.
Well, have you heard about this guy? This is a great one. Shout out New York Post. They had this great article about like some dude got so drunk that he went missing and then helped the search crew try to look for him until one of the guys he was looking with for like 2 hours looked over and was just like, wait, you're the guy. And he was like, what? And yeah, this dude. So that's a legend. But
that's a legend. That's great. That's
fantastic. But
it's amazing.
This is absolutely like
bonkers stuff. Like I feel like there's so many great like moments of kismet and justice that is just happening right now on the internet right now. Like first off, the idea that like I think the social media video came out after they found evidence of him like, oh, I think he faked his death. So they're like, oh, he faked his death. Cool. Here is also a video we found of him. I'm pretty sure he's talking about running away in this video. Here's evidence of this.
Pull up the Uzbekistan flight logs.
You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, because it's also crazy because he was talking about going to Uzbekistan. Truly fucking nuts. Now, that said, how do you think this guy could have protected himself a little bit more?
I think you get a cadaver. you throw it into a volcano
Oh.
or some, I mean,
A volcano.
but you get a pizza oven,
No,
you
I
do
like it.
something, you
Oh.
burn the body,
Pizza oven.
you burn the whole thing.
Okay.
And then you leave like your beanie next to him, and then they're like, "Oh, he burned up." I mean, I'm sure that you can get DNA off of a burned up body or something, but like just the idea that you're open ended, just like, yeah, I parked my car here, and then they'll assume I drowned or just went missing. Like, there's so many better. Go buy a Groupon for a skydiving, right? and then you know. Go away. Now people at least think, oh, he jumped out of a plane and he's dead. Like, there's got to be some better way than just open-ended, oh, yeah, I parked my car here and then left.
I just feel like, why? Like, okay, there's one thing to, and I'm not condoning this. There's one thing, I watch Dateline. There's one thing to like want to murder your spouse in order to like live a free life without them, right? Like I
Disagree.
there
on the record.
That is a thing.
I believe
that is a
in
thing that
divorce.
happens. No, yes, right. And everybody says get a divorce, and then
If you're thinking about murdering your spouse,
yeah,
try divorce first.
That's what I'm saying. But there is a way more those are like the two options, right? They're murder and divorce. There's this other wild other option, which I don't think a lot of men are trying, which I think is like kind of admirable, low key. Disappear and like give your family insurance money and like just to go live your own life forever. But and like, it's like let them live a good life without you because you sound like a piece of shit.
It almost feels like he like watched a documentary about someone who was big in show business from like the early 1900s who's like, my dad went out for a pack of smokes and never came back. And it's like, yeah, that happened in the 1900s when like Google didn't exist.
Yeah.
And you basically had like a phone book and you can see the people that are in your area. And if someone didn't exist in the phone book, you're like, they don't exist in my life. Like, that was it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, you sent out letters to people hoping they were at the place that the mail was being sent to.
Yes.
Now it's like, you can find anyone anywhere. You see people in like the background of videos and shit, and all of a sudden they like recognize someone.
Oh yeah, facial ID and shit.
Like,
it's such
all this stuff.
It's such a wild idea to fake your own death because it's like it's not like he was running away from. I mean, maybe he was running away from debt. Who knows? But it's not like he was running away from the mob, like from crimes or anything like that. He just wanted to get away from his wife and kids. Like, why not a divorce? Like, that's crazy, dude. Like, you didn't even get to keep any of your property.
I mean,
like, that's crazy.
He did say that he took out a life insurance policy. So at least he's giving his wife a little something, right? He was like, okay.
He's like giving them a gift.
I'm not going to give her half my money, but I'll give her some of like Progressive's money. And then
he's Tom Sawyered. He Tom Sawyered.
Yeah.
He Tom Sawyered himself, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he gets to see the funeral and shit and then also be kind of a good guy. What a nice
weirdo.
guy. I'm on board with this. I think he did something sweet for his family, personally. Because he sounds like a piece of shit and he like low-key gave him a gift.
Maybe you could Kill Bill it, where like you give yourself, I've seen some James Bond shit or something, but like there's some kind of thing that lowers your heart rate. Get buried.
Yes.
Get buried in a casket.
Yeah.
And then you like wake back up a day later or something, break your way out.
Yeah.
Or now nowadays you can just get a fancy one with a remote control or something. Get out of there, and then just leave.
Yeah.
Your family's not going to check the coffin every now and then.
Look, that actually sounds awesome. Why don't we have remote control caskets? Right?
I want a casket that it's animatronic.
Yeah.
I want one that I don't want any pole bearers. I just want people to have like a go-kart. It just like moves on its own.
Yeah. I'll just pay off the coroner. Like, I don't need the medication. Like, I'll just like fake a death, right? And I'll pay off a doctor, pay off the coroner, and then I'll just be like, I'll just drop some Ambien. So I'll like be sleeping for like 12 hours or something. And then I'm like done, and then I'm like, cool, sleep through the funeral, sleep through the burial, right? And then fucking open that shit up. And then I'm off to Uzbekistan and find me a new Becky. You know what I'm saying? That sounds pretty good. This guy sounds like He's got the way. You know what I mean? Like
This is absurd.
in Trump's America, this is the right way to
What
do
you got to
things.
do is fake your own murder. Because then,
yes,
even if you do get caught, you get a Netflix special. Because like this guy is just
Yeah.
a weirdo who got some coverage from local ABC or whatever.
Yeah,
But if you fake your own murder,
yeah.
and then it comes out that it didn't happen, you get some Netflix documentary about how he's, this guy faked it or whatever. You become a celebrity. Look at Eric and Lyle Menendez. They're like sex symbols now.
Yeah.
They slaughtered their parents for sure.
And then
and now they're like talking about whether they let them out, and they're gonna get out and get tons of shit.
And then Uzbekistan women are going to be throwing themselves
yeah.
at him.
Yeah.
He's going to get more Uzbekistan pussy than anything.
I mean, I'm sure that Uzbeki lifestyle, what? He goes there with, what's the standard
$1.
of living there? Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know how much the Uzbeki, whatever peso is worth.
it's definitely
But-
a peso.
Yeah, the Spanish were all over Turkish area.
Yeah, no, this is great. No, I think
He becomes an international celebrity.
he fucked up. Again,
Sell
this
out
is where he fucked up.
arenas.
He should have pretended to
Come
get
out with your own
murdered.
playing cards.
Yeah. He should have what is it? I know what you did last summer or whatever, or screamed himself.
Yeah.
He should have screamed himself.
Yeah.
But that's fucking crazy. I'm realizing this is a very sex-focused podcast, unfortunately.
Yeah,
well, speaking
yeah,
of
family friendly.
traveling across state lines for sex, Matt Gaetz.
Matt Gaetz.
This is breaking news today.
He's the Attorney General.
Has been nominated for Attorney General in
Oh
Trump's
my
America.
God.
To catch a predator,
Finally,
you have to be a
someone-
predator.
That's the best news for Diddy that they've had all week. Who's the head of the Department of Justice? Oh,
Fuck yeah.
a predator. I was hoping for Deshaun Watson, but this is just as good.
Listen, I know we have some Republican people, thanks to some stuff that I've said online here, but come on, guys. He's a pedophile. Matt Gaetz is a pedophile, guys. Look at that face. You can't, come on. Attorney General?
Look
What
at
are
that
we-
face.
Look at that face.
That's your requirement?
Yes.
Look at that face.
Look at that face.
Dude, Paul Scheer. You'd look at, if you could just identify pedophiles from
Yeah.
faces.
Paul Scheer.
I'll list off,
Hey, listen.
Paul Scheer,
Uh,
Willem Dafoe.
and then- hey, jury's still out, bro. Hey, I'm not putting them around kids. That's all I'm saying.
The jury's out and they aren't.
So this is his official statement.
Okay.
There's some interesting things in this, which we'll get to. It's my great honor to announce that Congressman Matt Gaetz of the Florida is hereby nominated to be the Attorney General of the United States. This is my best part. This is my favorite part. Matt is deeply gifted and tenacious attorney, trained at the William and Mary College of Law. Famous.
Yeah.
Who has distinguished himself in Congress through his focus on achieving desperately needed reform at the Department of Justice. Hey, we should get rid of that. We should get rid of all of that shit. Few issues in America are more important than ending the partisan weaponization of our justice system. Yeah. Matt will end weaponized government, protect our borders, dismantle criminal organizations, and restore America's badly shattered faith and confidence in the Justice Department. On the House Judiciary Committee, which performs oversight of DOJ, Matt played a key role in defeating the Russia hoax and exposing alarming and systematic government corruption and weaponization. He is a champion for the Constitution of the rule of law. So, funny thing about the Russia hoax in the Oversight Committee, it actually won in that. They actually did impeach him in the House. It didn't impeach him in the Senate. So, good job playing a key role in that, Matt. So, good job. Check out if the Department of Justice, hopefully it's not near any schools. Hopefully it's not near any schools because we're going to have to relocate some of those.
You expect, I think, any president to just put their friends into these offices, but usually I feel like their friends are also,
More established.
heavily involved, whatever. I mean, to be honest, you look at Biden put Buttigieg and transportation. I don't know how much he had to do with transportation before that. So like, sure, there's some times where it's like maybe they didn't have experience in that thing.
Yeah,
but they still have a good head on their shoulders. They're doing
it's
stuff.
not like Pete Buttigieg was like, fuck buses.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying is like, you can have someone who's a good organizer and a good leader who can then organize a department or something. I don't know how the Department of Transportation did, but then you get areas like this where it feels like they're kind of just going, okay, this is the list of people we have to get into offices.
Yeah.
What offices can we put them in?
Yeah.
And then they were like, Department of Education. They were like, nah, Matt's a pedophile. All right. Attorney General it is.
Well, I mean, it was only a year ago where he was being investigated for sex trafficking. So, I mean, this is a wild, like, this is wild.
Sex trafficking?
Sex trafficking for sex trafficking of a minor. Do you know this story?
I knew vaguely that he did something weird sex with a minor.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I probably should know this. I really don't know what the term sex trafficking means. I assume it meant like
so you're at a stoplight.
Okay.
And there's 3 cars in front of you.
Yeah.
One
rear-end
stops, one stops in front of you. They all stop at the same time. Which sex gets to go first?
Gotcha.
No. Okay, so just for those that aren't aware, so he was under. Okay, so there's 2 controversies with Matt Gaetz. He was under investigation by the House Ethics Committee because, like, within his first year as a representative, he was on the House floor just showing pictures of women he fucked, like nudes.
That's hilarious.
It's like he's just like, hey, check out these hot chicks. They may, and who knows how old they were, because apparently he was under investigation only a year ago for sex trafficking involving a teenager. And you might remember this because his friend was caught. His friend pled guilty to this because he was caught sending money over Venmo to minors.
Oh, okay.
This was a whole thing. Thinking like
and he labeled it like not sex or something.
Yes, it was a whole thing. Yeah, so it's like good friend and like political, like part of his political campaign.
Okay,
yeah.
The nude photos to members of Congress is hysterical. Okay, can we just say that as long as the pictures are of people that were over 18,
as long as it is,
that's hilarious. If you're sitting there and like you're trying to sway the vote, and Elizabeth Warren's about to vote, and then right before she votes, you're just like, "Hey, Liz," and you show her a picture of some like hot chick, and she's just like, "What the? Get that out of my face!" No, he's like, "Oh, you want to see this?" She's like, "No," and then they're like, "Oh no, okay." He's like, "No, I didn't want to vote." That's hilarious. The nude photos to congressmen, or even just like. If he's
airdrops of like
and they're talking about like the budget or something, and he just is bored and he turns to the right. He's like, "Oh, yeah, Cruz, look at this!" Like that's hysterical. But sex trafficking, I
totally crazy. I think. Well, I've always the House of Representatives. If you work there, would be like one of the most toxic work environments ever. Could you imagine? Like the whole, like you will show up to work and every day, half of the office is actively talking shit about you, like tweeting about you, is actively like trying to find replacements for your job, and then like is also like talking about your boss, talking to your boss who like hates you and shit. Like it's such a fucking
just sounds like SNL.
But yeah, they're all on coke too. That's the thing, and they're all fucking each other at the end of the day too.
I believe that.
Sex orgies for sure.
I've heard Dianne Feinstein was very active sexually with
John McCain. She put the fine in Feinstein for sure.
Oh yeah.
So crazy, wild times. The Attorney General website, when he's listed the photo, it will have a hyperlink to his sex offender page.
Attorney General.
Isn't that crazy though? Can you imagine his fucking overly waxed eyebrows like on the fucking DOJ page? Like, this is gonna be nuts. This is gonna be nuts.
So he's now in charge of going after people with the Department of Justice.
It's gonna be crazy times.
I think everyone that's gonna be in these cabinet positions who doesn't have experience, I don't know how much they're going to screw things up because I don't think they're actually going to do anything.
Did you see the Elon and Vivek in the Department of was it General Efficiency?
Yeah, they're going to cut everything,
which is a funny thing. Which is the joke that best joke I saw online was like already off to a great start with having two people in charge of a department for a job that one person could do. I fucked
Nailed
up the
it.
joke. Fucked up that joke so
Yep.
bad. But essentially the efficiency.
Yeah, the efficiency team.
The efficiency team was really just could have been one person. You know, like that
yeah.
is hilarious.
Well,
to
that'd
me.
be great if Elon's first cut is Vivek. That'd be great. But I
minorities,
you know what?
immigrants, we get shit done. This is not what we were talking about. This is not what Lin-Manuel was talking about.
I'm excited to see what Elon does, because I have a feeling that he's gonna basically say like, just cut this entire group or whatever. Do the whole
it's gonna be like nuclear testing and shit like that. It's gonna be crazy.
Well, I'm sure he'll say hire SpaceX. We'll shoot missiles, but
yeah.
I mean, say what you will about the guy, but he did cut the workforce at Twitter. I don't think it's better.
He did do it.
He did do it. So if you're looking for someone that will follow through, he'll do it.
He did
I don't know
do
if it's
it.
going to be good. I remembered someone saying like 15% of, if you cut every single person that works for the government, it would be 15% of the entire budget. So you can't actually cut the amount that they're talking about by getting rid of people. You have to get rid of spending on stuff. And so if they're going to get rid of spending on stuff, what are they going to cut? I don't know. Hopefully it's not things that are important to poor people, but Elon's got enough to worry about. You know, he's doing that whole like
there's something I think he's got enough to worry about. He's got a like he's building a jetpack inside of his chest. It looks like there's like some sort of like I think he's like he's focused on like building a gigantic turkey, I think he's growing a gigantic full-grown turkey inside of his body. I think that's what that is inside.
Yeah, he's getting stuffed. He's getting stuffed.
There's something weird about that man's body. It's very strange.
He's putting that harem together. He's putting that mansion together with all of his like baby mamas and like his 12 kids or something.
Is this real?
Yeah, he bought a house in, I think, Texas,
Probably makes sense.
Florida or something.
Dude,
But
we're
he
gonna get an Emperor Elon. I'm like, it's happening.
put together a house, and he's putting a couple of his baby mamas and all the kids that those moms are responsible for in the house. And he's gonna just like take care of those kids there.
Uh-huh.
So he's got this like, compound that he's building.
Right.
And I'm sure he's gonna send them off to Mars at some point.
Let's just recap kind of like these appointments that's happening in the last week, right? So we got Matt Gaetz,
and I believe you started this segment by saying not to get political.
Not to get political.
Let's get into this.
Let's just recap this real quick because it is crazy. Just all this is wild. We're just dealing with it, right?
Okay.
We're dealing with it. So we got Matt Gaetz, Department of Justice, was recently investigated by Department of Justice. Okay. For potential pedophile.
Familiar with it.
Yeah, familiar with it. We got Vivek and Elon, known Department of General Efficiency.
Yep.
Department of Efficiency could have been a good fucking title for that. Already a good one, and
it
it's
could have abbreviated that.
Could have abbreviated that. We got Robert RFK for the FDA and potentially getting rid of all vaccines. Who honestly looks like he probably deserves a vaccine. He looks like give this man some medicine. He sounds
Trump's been giving a lot of people, a lot of new voices are being heard, and unfortunately one of those is
the worst
RFK's.
voices in his case, the worst voice.
He always sounds like he's doing like, I had a neck injury when I was younger, and for physical therapy they put electrodes on your neck and it just kind of like stimulates it, and it kind of sounds like he's doing one of those, like it's like closed up and he's trying to figure out how to do everything.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know what? I can look past having a terrible voice. I'm excited to hear what he has to do without vaccines, because that's like the number one thing everyone knows about him is the vaccines. I want to hear what his take is on like, Ebola Like, does he think Ebola is bad for you? Does he think that, like, it stimulates like growth or something? Like, I want to hear what his takes are on a lot of other things.
Yeah. Like maybe Hep C actually helps with like growth or something like that. Yeah.
Or like whatever his other theories.
Maybe like he's like into some fringe or sciences like this.
Does he think that like anal will produce kids or something? Like he'll start giving out all these guidelines that are great. Stop teaching condoms to high schoolers because condoms can lead to cancer of the penis. I don't know what he's going to teach, but I can't wait for some of these things. I'm excited.
I take it back. That sounds good. So pretty crazy stuff. Pretty crazy stuff. We're living wild times. And maybe it's time for a psychic. Maybe we might be helpful to have some psychic energy.
Okay.
And this is a slightly political story, but it's also
we don't want to get political here.
We don't get political, but this is a wild story.
Okay.
So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
How was the election night for you? Did you sleep okay? Did you wake up?
I had a good, I honestly had a good time. I did nothing political. I went out, I did a show.
Okay.
People at the show were checking the election news, but I was just kind of steering clear. I was doing, bits about who knows what. And then my girlfriend was having people over to watch the election.
Yeah, we did that here too.
I steered clear because, she put on her, Mr. President, I'm speaking shirt. And all of her friends came over wearing their Kamala gear and stuff like that.
That must have been brutal.
Well, I went out for the show, and my girlfriend actually sent me a text saying, like, maybe you don't
want to come
home for a little bit. Not because I would be depressed, but because she thought I'd sit down and just do some kind of shitty joke of just like, Trump's America now. And I'm just like, yeah, I probably would say something like that. So
did you sleep through the night though?
I was fine.
Did your girlfriend sleep through the night?
It was hard for her. For her.
Yeah.
I expected, I think, him to win at some point. I was kind of just like,
you
know what?
Expected him to win.
Like the amount of people that were like, I have less money than I had before.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I want that to change.
Yeah.
And that's all they thought about. They don't, you don't think about why that is. You don't think about, and all these people, all these idiots in New York and LA, well, the market's doing great. Well, yeah, the market's doing great. But do you think that, Joe in the middle of Indiana is like, well, the Dow's at 4,200 or 42,000. No, he doesn't know what a market is. He just knows that he has $1,000. Yep. He used to have $2,000.
And that doesn't buy as many eggs. Yeah.
So I was just kind of like, I don't know. If
Did you guys wake up at all? Or did you sleep the whole night?
I take a sleeping pill. So I was fantastic.
Trazodone?
No, that's the trendy one. I take quetiapine, Seroquel or something.
Love me.
It's terrible for you.
I'm all about that trazodone. But I did. But
Seroquel's terrible for you.
I'll take a little. Took a pin in that for sure.
Okay.
Because if you didn't, for those of you listening, if you didn't sleep very well that night and you woke up early on Wednesday around 2 or 3,
sure,
you are not alone. Women and psychically focused people took to social media to post that some sort of psychic energy woke them up on the election night to find out that Trump won.
Okay.
And this is one of the more wild trends.
So you're telling me over 1 million women just on TikTok had a collective experience the morning after the election, right as they announced Donald Trump won. If you haven't seen it yet, I posted a video about having this early morning experience. Y'all, over 1 million she's, theys, and gays, and men who I can only assume they're tapped into their feminine energy, woke up at that time with so many similar experiences, feeling jolted awake, massive, like just energy feeling, saying, don't pick up our phone, don't pick up your phone. Because we already knew. We woke up knowing that he won.
Okay. All right. So
I love the phrase she's, theys, and gays.
That's a great one.
It's a great way.
It's a very LA. It's a very LA thing.
It's a very good way of saying everyone is not a straight white man, but in like a trendy way. I actually really like that term. I might start using it.
So here's another video.
For my fellow witches, spiritual,
who else? This is another video.
People,
who else woke up around 3 a.m.?
Who else woke up between about 2 to 5 a.m. the night of the election? Who else had a physical sensation during that time where they were either feeling something in their body, or were actually physically.
Here's another video saying she woke up at 3:33. Saying she woke up at 3 a.m.
Oh my God, bro.
Woke up at 3 a.m. Woke up at 3 a.m.
What about that?
Okay, I don't know about that. All right, that's a local comic.
So
Okay, please.
Woke up at
comment
3
below.
a.m. Woke up at 3 a.m.
Okay.
Woke up at 3:30.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
4 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what?
Yes.
Here's the funny thing to me is like, could it have been that your neighbors were watching the
Could it have been the
coverage?
fireworks that were happening?
Like, could it? Yeah, genuinely. Like, could it have been that there was just someone nearby?
Yes.
Watching the coverage, and you heard a cheer, and
Here's-
you were like,
Or just a thought. Maybe you went to bed at midnight and were worried, and you woke up when the fucking AP news alert happened when Trump took to stage, because that's when he actually went on stage.
yeah. You
That's-
heard the
that's
the
what
loud
happened.
orgasm from your dad's room where he was watching the news and saw Trump got elected. Yeah.
So Trump took to stage at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
in
West
the morning
Palm Beach. Yeah.
on West Palm Beach. So what does it mean? Can I ask you a question, Tyler?
Okay.
So all these people, all these women and psychically minded people,
Individuals.
she, theys, and gays. What does it mean if, I don't know, a guy like myself wakes up at 3 in the morning, Tuesday morning, with one of the worst panic attacks after taking a full tab of trazodone, unlike any night terror I've ever felt in my entire life.
So you're defending the psychics.
I am saying I am more psychic than all of these people. That's all I'm saying. I am one day more psychic than all of them.
Oh, so
if they are psychic,
you're saying you woke up the day before.
I'm saying on Tuesday.
On the election day, you woke up.
I
in a
woke up
night
on
sweat.
Tuesday. They woke up on Wednesday. I woke up just a whole 24 hours before them.
I think that's just because you're very mentally ill. And do you sleep well normally? Like
I took a full trazodone.
Okay.
Nothing.
How
wakes
often
me
do you sleep through the entire night?
on trazodone all the way through?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. On trazodone all the way through.
Okay, so we're doing something
and
here.
then
Yeah.
if I wake up from a night terror, it's usually like a reoccurring dream, and I'm also I still have a dream. Like I'm having
Gotcha.
that dream still, right? I woke up just with a panic attack. Like there was no emotion behind it. There was just a panic. Like it was. I honestly, I've never felt anything like that before.
Wow.
And I had to like
okay.
pace around the room. Like I thought I was gonna. Like it was crazy.
So you're on the side of there was psychic energy.
Yes. I am saying if they are psychic, I am more psychic. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. So you're saying there isn't. You don't believe in the energy, but if there is,
I am.
That's a very
Yeah.
You just spent a little time trashing Mr. Trumpy Trump over here, but now you're doing, oh, if I get elected, then it's right. But if it's wrong, it's collusion. But if it's right,
yeah,
then it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So now you're doing the no, psychic doesn't exist.
Yeah, yeah.
But if it does, I'm more
Yes,
psychic.
Exactly. Yes. You have any experience with psychic energy?
No. Because I'm a normal human. What are you kidding? I can't tell whatever's gonna happen.
You never get no woo woo, no ghosts.
I get no. You know
nothing.
what? Sometimes
there's no haunted.
Sometimes I get a feeling that I'll see someone I know when I'm out, and then I'll go out and it doesn't happen because I'm not psychic. It has never happened for me. I don't believe in any of this shit. I don't believe in this whole, the moon affects the tides, so it affects your blood kind of thing. And then when it's a full moon, you're a werewolf. When it's a new moon, you're a baby. I don't know what the hell these things are.
Yeah.
And then you look in the sky, you see a made up diorama that some Greek guy did because he didn't have TV. So he was like, oh, look, Orion, when it's like 3 stars.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe in any of this shit. And it's because I live in the world of reality.
Okay.
Where there's science, And guess what? If these girls had psychic abilities, it would have manifested at some point before just them finding out bad news they were already worried about. So they went to sleep knowing Kamala was behind. And then when they woke up at 3 a.m. in a night sweat because something they didn't want to happen was about to happen, they said, oh my God, the thing I knew would happen happened. You know what I want to know? I want to know how many of those people recorded videos of themselves predicting that she won and then didn't post those because Trump won. Yeah. I want to know if they had backups of Kamala winning.
That's so...
Yeah. And
that
then
would be crazy.
And then one type A girl had like a Jill Stein one ready, like just in case.
That would be great. Guys, I had this psychic energy. Not me waking up at 4 a.m. with Jill Stein waking up.
I want to see every one of these psychics girls' drop boxes where they have a folder and then they have to go in and just delete all the ones that didn't happen, you know? Like they definitely already have like the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, and then like, you know, Taylor. I can't believe Taylor Swift got proposed to on halftime, and then they're going to delete that when it doesn't happen.
All these she, theys, and gays are here to tell me that Travis Kelce,
all of them, all the people
Travis
that think
Kelce
they're
proposed
psychic.
to Taylor Swift, and Jill Stein won the election.
They've already got them recorded.
Yeah.
I think all of these psychics
That's
have got
so
every one of
funny.
those recorded.
Yeah.
All right.
This is the thing with predictions and all that stuff. That's like Nostradamus. They give everybody. He was a famous soothsayer or whatever.
Yeah.
People say he gets things correct. Well, he just fucking. This is what they say. He just said a bunch of fucking things, and eventually they might be right.
I bet you those girls recorded those during the 2020 election, and then just kept them around, and then were able to recycle
I can't believe
them
Kamala
now.
won. I can't believe Trump won.
I can't believe Trump won. Yeah,
not me waking up at
That'd
3
be great
a.m.
if they had the Kamala.
Like, why do you
last
look
time.
10 pounds lighter? This is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. You really been stressing about this
your
election.
Last video, you had different hair.
Yeah, that's
Did you
crazy.
dye that today?
So wild.
I do think that if you get, if you're around something enough, then, you know, subconsciously, maybe you've seen one or two things happen enough times in certain situations where like your brain will be like, oh, these 4 things happened.
Yeah.
Maybe this thing's likely.
Yeah.
I don't think it was in that situation, but like, you know, if you're going to a,
You notice patterns that
you go to a football game and like every single time Patrick Mahomes drops back and does this one thing and looks left, you know, he passes it to Travis Kelce, and in your brain right in that moment you think like, I bet you Kelsey's gonna get it. Like, I think that might happen. You know what I think the most ridiculous thing is jinxes. I think the idea that you can sit there and be like, well, you know, those 53 people on that football team worked as, I'm going to keep going back to football. These 53 people on that football team worked their entire lives every day to get good at football and win this game. And then all of a sudden they didn't do it because Dave in Buffalo said, hey, I bet you they're going to make this kick.
Yes.
And then everyone's like, Dave said he's going to make the kick, so he missed it. Like, no. How narcissistic are you?
Are you telling me, though, you don't wear your favorite shirt or something when you watch your team or something like that?
I wear it all the time and they lose every freaking game. I'm a Giants fan. You kidding me? I wear a Plaxico Burris jersey every game and they're 2-7.
Exactly. So there you go. Well, then we have to do this last story, right? We're gonna end it on this one. Are you ready for this?
Let's do it.
Okay, so you're a sports fan. We'll end it on sports. Something. So Jerry Jones and the Sun. Have you heard about this story?
Yeah.
Okay.
That crackpot.
This crazy motherfucker refused to acknowledge the Sun. So apparently there have been multiple instances now where the Dallas Cowboys have been fucking up plays because of the Sun blinding their receivers and their quarterback.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, because of the stadium, and it's an amazing stadium. It's so amazing, actually, that they actually have ways to block the Sun. Jerry Jones just doesn't want to block it for the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, I mean, maybe they'll have time to actually like do that while he's distracted, because I imagine he'll be Secretary of the Interior. But Jerry Jones, he's insane. He's like 84, 86 or something.
Yes.
I'm making that up, but he's in his 80s. And dude, he's just a psychopath.
Yeah, he's an insane man.
I mean, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Yes.
I mean, I'm also coming at it from a Giants fan perspective, so I'm going to hate everything he does. But
yes.
Yeah, if your best player couldn't catch a touchdown because the sun's coming in. And I love that he explains it by saying like, well, everyone knows the sun's going to be out and in their eyes. So it's a fair advantage.
Yes.
So it's not an advantage. What football player is sitting out there with his like sundial going like, oh, okay, so when we get the ball, if we get the ball on this side, then in the fourth quarter, we're going to have the ball on this side and the sun will be in our faces. So if we select to take the ball on this side and this happens, we'll run this package of plays. But if we don't select that side and we get the other side, then we'll do this package of plays.
Yeah.
No coach is putting together sun or no sun packages.
Do quarterbacks adjust for fucking wind? Is that a thing? Like wind resistance?
Oh, wind resistance. No. I mean, like direction of the wind, they might throw a different way. I don't know. But they're definitely not going to throw with the idea of like, all right, well, the sun's going to be in his eyes, so let me, plop it out further or something. Like, no. This is absurd.
So here's some video of this very famous play that's just happened recently.
Sports right now is this fucking sun thing. Feels like every week a Cowboys player misses like a huge play.
He had it.
Yeah.
Like he fucking had it. This is
shout out right now. Hold on to Cooper DeGen right there.
Yeah.
The Eagles cornerback. Now, normally I hate Eagles.
Right.
First white starting cornerback in God knows how long. Kudos to him.
Kudos to him. Yeah.
I don't know how good is, but he overcame that.
That's a hard position to be.
That glass ceiling.
These white guys, we have it so hard these days.
Can't
when
it comes to NFL defense, we do.
Yeah.
Play because he's getting absolutely blinded by the sun. They put curtains up for other events.
So this is what I'm saying. So they have fucking curtains.
They have them.
They can do
in the
it.
Stadium.
Get the fuck out. They have the technology.
Basically, Jerry Jones is just too stubborn to put the fucking curtains up.
They apparently use the curtains for concerts and other non-football events.
No way.
Dude, Heifetz and I have been tweeting about
so here's the example of the
this
past.
since 2019. We're talking about guys getting...
He fucking just ducked under it. He ducked under the ball.
For something that... Because also, it just disadvantages his players for half the games of the year. Like everyone else has to play, 1 or 2 games there, but they play half their season at home.
Yes.
They have to contend with the sun.
And it's a $1.2 billion stadium. And it's like you spend that much money on something that nice. Like, why not have it be good for, you know what I mean? Like, it's such a stubborn thing.
Well, also, what's the advantage? Like, is it better lighting if they have it like that? Like, is it just cooler? Like,
it's probably
it's just vibes.
It's probably the same reason why you would leave it open, because it's retractable, right? You would leave it open as opposed to closing it they probably close it for when they want to or something.
Well, it sounds like, because like my mom used to keep the drapes open in the house or curtains or whatever. So, you could see outside, you could have a lovely time.
Yes.
Who the hell goes to a football game and then goes like, yeah, that's great. CeeDee Lamb's out there. But guys, look at Dallas.
What a beautiful city, Dallas.
City.
The
look
gorgeous.
At that. Someone's getting mugged right on the corner. There's an abandoned warehouse. There's broken glass.
Maybe that's why he wants to make sure people don't leave. He's like, come, look at the
beautiful place.
Stay inside, spend your money.
Is there seating? Maybe, you know what this is? This is the only option I can think of that makes sense. There's like a mile down the road, there's a hotel, and they have a bunch of telescopes, and he sold viewing rights to that hotel where people can go over and use the telescopes and watch the game themselves. Because otherwise, what's the point? It's not like people are flying over and going like, if you look out your window, you can watch the fourth quarter.
It's probably that, though. He probably does sell airspace to like Goodyear Blend and shit.
That's true.
It probably is some bullshit like that.
You know what he should do?
What?
Is he should put the curtains down when the Cowboys are going down that side of the field, and then pull them back up when the other team is on that side. And then it makes sense. Okay, it's a home field advantage.
You talked about your mom using curtains.
Yeah.
What about my mom, who would use blinds? Just you keep them open, but not all the way.
Yes.
So you just kind of like
use the blinds for what? What are the?
You use blinds. So curtains close all the way.
Yeah.
But you use blinds. So you just kind of, you get a best of both worlds. Where
nobody's
you mean like
halfway?
You're halfway open, right? So you just kind of have like shutters. You do like a classy like a classy
Yeah, he has
thing.
like wood shutters.
Like
up
wood
there.
shutters at the top of the stadium would be pretty sick.
Nice.
So that way it's like you still get a little open air, but then like it's not blinding your quarterback.
Well, you know what they should do for fairness is they should actually just have when one team's going down that side with the sun in their eyes, the other side just has a massive spotlight, and so.
To be fair, to fair it out. There you go. Yeah.
And you just put the spotlight at the same side, at the same angle the sun's at, and then just shoot it back out the other way. So the defenders and the offense are both just screwed.
I love that.
Both quarterbacks have to
that's
deal
a good
with
idea.
light in their eyes.
Yeah, there should just be a spotlight the whole time.
Yeah.
I love the whole time. Actually, I actually think that'd be a way more interesting. If it's if it's just a laser,
just pair
a laser
the CT
pointer
with light with eye damage and
laser pointer the whole time.
Yeah.
That's a great idea, man. We solved it. We solved it, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. We're coming to the end of the show. We're gonna wrap up with one game here.
Okay.
This next game is called Wild Opinions.
Okay.
This is a brand new game.
Oh, so what we were doing with the mild opinions.
We were doing just mild. These are wild.
Wild.
These are culled from the internet.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you a list. I'm going to give you a wild opinion, and you're going to tell me if you agree with it. Just say, I agree or disagree.
Okay.
You can either, you can ask later. You can only ask for one of these opinions to explain. So somebody out there in the world holds this opinion.
Okay.
And the very end of this game, we can dive into it if you want.
So you're telling me that someone put this on the internet?
Yes, and explained it.
Oh, so this is a real, it's not just a tweet like, I hate.
No, they went deep into it on Reddit.
Okay.
They explained it. If you care to find out more, there's one, we can dive into one of these.
Okay.
Okay? You ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right. Here we go. And all you have to do is say, for now, is you agree or disagree. Okay.
Well, from the sound of this, I hope I disagree with all of them.
No, some of these are good.
Here's wild opinions that, in my esteemed opinion, are so outrageous they'll be entertaining on a podcast. Do you agree with these? Yes or no?
These are fun. Trust me. Okay.
Yes, I believe Sandy Hook happened.
Okay.
Next.
Wow. Okay. That's like 5 of mine.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Dobby is the worst character in the Harry Potter series.
Ooh. Let's see. I'm gonna go with no.
Disagree.
I disagree.
Okay. All right.
I don't explain. I just agree. Okay.
Okay. Well, I mean, okay.
So I disagree on that one.
Okay. Giant syringes should replace bottles/tubes for shampoo, toothpaste, and lotion.
No. Where are we putting the shampoo and lotion? What do you want? Giant syringes we're going to squeeze out of a hypodermic needle every time we need to use something? No. I don't need to go into someone's shower and think that I'm getting an EpiPen. I need no.
To be fair, to go back to the Dobby one, J.K. Rowling is the worst character in the Harry Potter series. That's officially.
Did you know that she actually wanted Kamala to be president? Yeah, because she didn't even want power to transition.
Nice.
Okay, it's a turf joke. Yeah,
it's good.
Okay.
It's good. Chocolate chip cookies are better once they cooled off. Do you disagree or agree?
If they're store made, if they're made by a factory, yes. I want the
fresh baked cookies,
famous Amos ones cooled off. Fresh baked are much better than the other.
Fresh baked cookies. Chocolate chip cookies are better once they cooled off.
No.
Okay.
The only time they're better when they've cooled off is
when
if you're trying to
store.
dunk them. Because if you want to dunk a fresh baked cookie, it's gonna fall in.
Apart. Yeah.
And it's delicious to drink the milk with American boba at the bottom, which is just like a crumbled up
I love that
chocolate chip cookie. But if you want to dunk a cookie, it has to be cold so it doesn't fall apart.
Yes.
But the rest of the time, it's much better right off the bat.
Yeah.
You want burn your teeth on a
great
chocolate chip.
I love that. That's great. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. We should have
Hershey's Days and Gays. Yep.
We should have, speaking of that, we should have men only gyms. Since women have women only gyms.
We have men's only gyms.
Like specifically men only gyms.
That's what the YMCA stands for. Young Men's Something. I disagree.
Okay, you disagree.
I disagree. I think most of the motivation at a gym comes from the 1% chance in our pea little brains that the hot girl on the leg press sees us doing something and she's going to be like, oh,
yeah,
he's curling 25 pounds. That's my guy. And yet her boyfriend is like an Instagram famous bodybuilder who can, bench her, 35 times.
Yes.
And yet I think she's going to look over and see a Jewish guy sweating on an elliptical and be like, ooh, I'm going to leave him for him. No, I think women should be very welcome.
Not even
in
not
men's
even a treadmill.
gyms. No.
Elliptical is the most effeminate version of
and I don't even use the
you're
arms.
just giving hand jobs. You're practicing hand jobs while you're doing
What kind of hand job do you get that a girl's going back and forth like a saw?
Well, I don't know about
Do you move with her?
Listen,
Are
I know
on
you're
the
Jewish.
bottom?
I know you're Jewish, but we got us people with foreskin.
Yeah? You go forward and back, not even up and down? What kind of chode are you working with? That she's got like a lever that she's moving.
I'm just kidding.
Is that your role play?
I'm
Is
just
she
kidding.
sits up there
I've never
with
had sex.
Yep, that makes sense. But I think women should very much be welcome in the gym.
Yes.
I do think that women's only gyms are very needed because just from that statement alone, men can be very creepy. I've heard guys go up to girls in the gym and like in the middle of their workout, they'll be on the treadmill going full speed. And a guy will go up and just like flag her down, and then she'll go back down, stop it. Like, what's going on? Did you forget something on this treadmill or something? And the guy's just like, no, what are you doing? What are you up to?
Bruh, well, I go to I do live at a gym. I go to an influencer gym, and it's truly fucking crazy. These men.
Influencer gym.
Because they're
You mean like a gym where they teach you how to take a selfie with a ring light, or you mean you go to a place you work out?
Where people fucking go in with ring lights and like everybody has a camera. It's crazy. It's actually nuts. But anyways, okay, cool. It's okay to settle. Disagree or agree?
Yes.
Okay.
I think 99% of us have to settle. Love-wise, my girlfriend's settling for sure, but I think a lot of people have to settle. I think that's what the entire American economy is based on, is people that come out of the womb and just go like, yeah, I'd love to be an astronaut, but I could be drunk and an accountant. That's fine. I could do accounting and then get fucked up on the weekends.
Yes.
Like, sure, why not? I'll bet on some stuff and I'll pretend I have, hopes and dreams.
Yeah, sometimes settling is good. Okay, food shouldn't automatically be spicy.
For sure. I think plenty of people out there like food that's not spicy.
Yeah.
You can always add spice to it. You can't take it out.
I disagree.
Really?
Food should be spicy.
Really?
Suck it up.
You think ice cream should be spicy?
Yeah. That's not food. That's
you
dessert.
You think water
bro.
should be spicy?
That's not. Okay. Water is not food. Are you kidding me right now?
You're ingesting.
Okay. Honestly, water should be
I'm going to give you some
spicy.
examples. You tell me if it should be spicy. Okay.
Yeah.
So we already have your example on ice cream.
Yeah.
Toast.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Butter.
Are you kidding?
Butter should be spicy.
Let's do it.
Cereal.
Raisin Bran with a little bit of Cholula.
First of all, it's Raisin Bran. The brand is not a raisin.
What did I say?
I said brand. Raisin Bran.
I think I said bran.
Okay. Roll the tape. Roll it back.
Let's hear it. Eric?
Raisin Brand.
Thank you.
Okay, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
I retract my statement.
Thank you.
You're right. Okay. Last one.
Okay.
Peanut butter is an abomination to food.
Fuck you. No. I had peanut butter this morning. I eat peanut butter from the jar. I'll literally take a spoon and just eat it. You know what the greatest peanut butter in the world is? And if anyone has anything against peanut butter, go try this. Whole Foods has a grind it yourself honey roasted peanut butter. And it's the greatest. I used to literally take a slice of potato bread, just smear on some of this peanut butter and just eat that as a snack. It was the greatest thing on earth.
Ooh. So
Big
you're like
fan
one of
peanut
those
butter.
like Ted Lasso, keep a little open jar of peanut butter type of guys.
Yeah, minus the success. But I love
minus
peanut
the
butter.
Folksy,
Yeah. Minus the cool mustache and being played by Jason Sudeikis. But I almond butter, peanut butter, fantastic. I'll put on everything.
Totally agree.
I'll put peanut butter on most anything. Now, chocolate chips going full circle here from the chocolate chip cookie question.
Yeah.
My dad and my dad's entire family, they put chocolate chips on everything. My dad puts chocolate chips on his pizza.
What the fuck?
He does. It's actually very good. A chocolate chip.
No. What types of pizza? Like just a chocolate chip pizza? Because that
he does.
We've learned a lot about your family this episode. And
barbecue chicken chocolate chip pizza.
Shut the fuck up.
Yes.
No.
It's very good. He makes it on a barbecue. So what he does is he takes dough.
Hey, get him. Get him.
Oh, sorry.
Somebody get him.
Let me make it for you. We'll add Tabasco. But my dad, no, he takes like dough. He flattens out the dough. He barbecues one side of the dough, flips it over, puts marinara, cheese, chocolate chips, barbecue chicken, and oregano maybe. But then he puts it back on the barbecue. It gets nice and crispy. You have the melted chocolate. Before you say no to this, think of mole sauce. That's just tomato sauce and chocolate chips.
I'm not a fan of mole, but I do get it.
Yeah. So he does that. It's delicious. He does. He puts chocolate chips in his salad. He'll do that. He does Caesar salads with chocolate chips.
Okay,
it's very astonishing. And then you wonder. Yeah, I have the genes of this family. Yes, this is the decision making of a family that I come from.
That's pretty wild. Yeah.
But then he also puts chocolate chips, and I don't know if you've ever seen this. And It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There's an episode where Dennis ruins the inside of his car because he's eating cereal in his car while he's driving.
Right.
And he gets rear-ended, and the cereal goes everywhere. My dad used to do that he would have a ceramic bowl filled to the brim with milk. So he wouldn't fill the bowl with cereal and then milk. He'd fill it with like 3 inches of milk and then like a layer of cereal. And then he'd put in like a handful of chocolate chips. So like 2 days worth of chocolate chips servings wise. And then he would eat it while he was driving. He would use his knee. And we lived in a very remote part of Connecticut. There's woods everywhere. So it's curvy roads. He's literally just like driving like this. And he's eating. And then he would, I swear to God, after he was done with the cereal, he'd put the bowl down, still filled with milk. He wouldn't get rid of the milk. And then he would pull out a newspaper and he would just physically read the newspaper while he's driving me to school.
Oh my God.
And then he drove like an extra hour to work. So for the love of God, I can't understand how he didn't get into an accident or cause one.
That's crazy.
But that's the kind of man that produces a brain like this. Yeah.
Oh my God. Your dad sounds like a goddamn legend. Well, those are wild opinions. You were right on all of them. Which ones is there anyone that you wanted to deep dive in on? Let's just to recap.
Yeah,
you did Dobby, giant syringes, chocolate chip, female only gyms or men only gyms. It's okay to settle, spicy, and there we skipped a few, and then peanut butter.
Yeah, I'm gonna go into worst character in Harry Potter.
Okay.
Let's see
how much. Oh, I don't know how much deep dive he did, but let's just see what this man said. I'm assuming it's a man. He is both annoying and utterly destructive. The anger that Harry felt towards him at the beginning of the Chamber of Secrets is completely justified, and it should have never gone away. Is this hidden? I'm glad that he died. Wow.
And the only hidden part is I'm glad he's dead. That's funny. Well, okay. Dobby's annoying, sure. But he's cute.
Lovable.
He gets, freed, and it's a fun story, and we all root for him, I can't stand a couple characters. I'm going to list them off. I can't stand Moaning Myrtle.
Yeah, terrible.
She's just annoying.
Creep, pedophile.
Creepy, yeah.
Creepy.
Well, she was a ghost
Predator.
at the age of 12.
But a consciousness of 100 years.
I'll give her a pass. But Ron Weasley is the useless, most annoying. I mean, his entire arc is that he just doesn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
He's nervous. And then he just nothing happened. He's jealous.
I'll do you one better, buddy.
All this stuff.
Harry.
I like Harry.
Come on.
I like Harry.
Harry doesn't do anything.
He's the chosen one. He's an orphan. His parents were killed at birth.
And he what does he do to fulfill that prophecy aside from expecto patronus?
What are you talking about?
He doesn't do anything in the whole.
Yeah, he's a terrible student.
I think Harry did okay in school. Like he wasn't wasn't Hermione, right?
Every time we saw him, he was either just cheating off of Hermione or getting like reprimanded for not paying attention.
Yeah.
And also he was doing all these shenanigans where he just wasn't in class.
White privilege for sure.
I mean, maybe,
dead parents privilege for sure.
Yeah. Oh,
Nepo
maybe.
privilege for sure.
But he's chosen person privilege.
Yeah.
Because he's out doing these quests.
Yeah.
And yes, he's saved the wizarding world. But I'm sure he wasn't in class enough to get the attendance, right?
Yeah.
If you're off fighting Voldemort or getting like slaughtered or something, you're not in class to learn the right way to make a polyjuice potion.
Yeah.
So, and all these scenes of Snape like shoving his face back in his book or something like that, like, no, Harry, I think, got by on his status there.
I just feel like Harry could have been more powerful. There's other books that like have the prophecy guy that like they're a little bit more powerful. You know what I mean?
True.
Hermione is kind of like the badass, and that's cool and everything.
Hermione's great,
but we kind of just watch Harry watch Hermione be awesome. You know what I mean? That kind of like
fair.
That's the only part I'm just like, that's all right. Like that's cool. But like, I don't know, like the amount of building it the point of the books is more of just being like, wow, we're just watching Harry kind of be places. And then he watches people do cool things like Dumbledore and Hermione.
True.
And I'm like,
it is true that I think a lot of the books and a lot of the movies are people like saving Harry.
Yeah.
When it's like, he should be. Although he does, you know, he does the Dementors, and he's in that Goblet of Fire, and so he does a lot.
But did you think Dobby deserved to die? That's the question.
Did Dobby deserve to die? I don't think so. Well, no, it wasn't that. It was if he was the worst
You're glad he died.
character. He's a top 10 worst for sure. But no, I think Dobby was a heartfelt thing as opposed to, Ron and a couple of the other characters were just not fun to watch.
Yeah, Ron was that was an interesting character for sure.
Yeah.
At least he, the Hermione
Redheads
repartee.
needed someone to cheer for. But
Yeah. Oh gosh, redheads.
He did get together with Hermione.
Yeah.
If you bang Hermione, that's good for you.
Well, Tyler, thank you so much for coming on the show and being part of our. Well, this is we went a little long today, but I really appreciate that. Well, we went from Broy Sports Talk got some deep dives into Harry Potter, and I love it. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We went a little long, but I really do appreciate you donating your time. I had a fucking blast. Dude.
Yeah, this was tons of fun.
So much fun. We went all over the damn place. This will be out on Monday. Is there anything you want to plug, including your social media? Any wild stuff you're up to that you want to plug?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere, just at Tyler Strauss Comedy. And I run a monthly show at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center in Mid-City, LA. So if you guys are in that area, come on out to the Tell Everyone Comedy Show.
Cool.
A lot of fun going on Eventbrite. It's out there every month. Great time. Comes with a free drink.
Whoa.
And yeah.
Awesome, dude. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show. You can follow me at Adam R. Mack. You can follow this pod at That Was Wild Pod. And if you like the show, share with a friend. It really helps us grow. And we're going to end the show like we always do. We're going to look down the barrel of that camera. We're going to say That Was Wild on the count of 3. You ready? This camera right there. Ready? Count of 3. We're going to say That Was Wild. 3, 2, 1.
That was wild!
It's time to get wild.